Yes, people, what's going on? Just finished on the kickoff. I am here with the main man, Buvey. And this video, as you've seen, is titled, How It Feels to Lose a Champions League Final. Yes, I'm happy to be here with Buvey and not Rory, even though I hate Chelsea as much. Buvey, your first Champions League final. Thank you for joining me. His channel, the link is in the description. How you feeling, bro? Because I've been in this position before, a couple times against your old manager.
Of course.
So I know exactly how it feels.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
It's tough, mate. I'm not going to be naive enough as a City fan, of course, to say we need to be winning every game. We need to be winning Champions League after Champions League. To get to a final is a special thing, of course it is. When you get to the final the way we've been playing, I don't know if you'd agree as a United fan what you've seen of City, but we played some really good free-flowing football. Sterling's not been part of that really. It's been Foden on the left, De Bruyne down the middle, Mahrez on the right. And when you change that and put no defensive midfielder in, and the people are going to say defensive midfielder, in your mind you're going to think Kante and the McKola role. For Man City, the defensive midfielder role means taking the ball off the centre-backs, turning on the half pivot, giving it off quick. And Fernandinho is unbelievably good at doing that. Whatever you say about his other qualities on the pitch, and we've got none of that today. Gundogan's great on the ball, but he wasn't as savvy. He wasn't shutting down the space in between the defensive line and the midfield. And we've seen a guy literally the reason that Havertz scored, arguably, he's cut through the midfield line.
Because there was no defensive midfielder, and
it's sin. It's a sin.
That's how big the Champions League final is, though, right? Because even a manager as great as Pep, someone as good as Pep, starts to overthink things. And myself, Rory, and you. I know you and Rory did the video where you were talking about it as well, but me and Rory had the same conversation saying the only way, or one of the big ways Chelsea can win this is if Pep starts to overthink things. And that's what the Champions League final can do to people, can't it? It can make them have a bad game. It can all get on top of them. It can be too much mentally. And it seemed to be that way for Pep today. Now, no one's suggesting he's going to leave. No one's suggesting this is the end of him. But could that be a big blow for this team mentally, do you think?
No, I don't think it is. I think you've got to trust the process, and without sounding sort of cheesy or naive or anything like that. But if we'd lost the Premier League, let's just say, or we'd lost the League Cup final and maybe bottled the Champions League semi-final, that's a different story. To get to the final is a new hurdle. It's not good enough to not just lose it, the amount of money we've spent. Of course, as a club, it's different. City fans will know that getting to a Champions League final, getting to a League Cup final is good enough for us. But if you get there with the amount of quality we've got in that squad, and to have 2 shots on target all game, Guardiola has to really take a look at himself in the summer and say, who are we now? Are we a guy with Kane up front, with pace down the wings? Are we a side without a striker? Are we a side that's defensive like Tuchel's is a little bit? It is a bit of an identity, not crisis, because I know how we're going to play next season if we can get the right talent in, but it's a little bit of a watershed moment, I'd say.
Do you think this means that you will then go all out for Harry Kane now? Is that what you're thinking this means?
All your fans, mate, and all your subs are going to think, oh, City fan, spend the money when we lose a final. Obviously, City win or lose today, we're going to invest in the squad. We're going to need to replace Aguero, so we all know that. So I don't want to come across as if we spend money to get. It's not about that at all. We need a number 9. I'm not 100% set on Harry Kane. For 150 million quid, that's going to make us look like everything we've been trying to say that we're not for the last 10 years in terms of signing just, Galacticos and all that, because we have invested in young, Ferran Torres for 25 million quid, Mahrez for 30 million quid, for example.
It's been a number of signings rather than
thin on
a few signings for a lot of money, right?
Yeah, a lot of money spread thin on young talent, and maybe it's a Haaland who's a bit more of a savvy investment, even if he costs maybe a little bit more than Kane might cost. We do need a striker because we had no chances today, did we? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's tough, mate. It's tough.
Now, we've been to the last 2 Champions League finals we've been to, we lost against against Pep, against Barcelona. And I remember at the time feeling helpless, feeling sick, feeling, this is so annoying. We got battered by Barcelona at the time. And I remember thinking, how are we allowing this to happen? How are we not leaving a glove on them? How are we not? Now, he's obviously one of the great Barcelona teams. It was an absolutely world-class Barcelona team. But I always had this feeling like, we've got to make sure something happens. We can't just let this go. Did you feel like that today? Did you feel like City allowed this final to just slip through their fingers?
The issue is about Man United, and I obviously watched the Ferguson Man United side with a lot of envy and jealousy, and a little bit of me wanting you to perform well. Maybe I don't want you to win Champions League, obviously as a City fan, but there was nothing you could have done. What could you have done? Put Carrick, Ji-Sung Park, Scholes in midfield? There's almost nothing you could have done tactically, in my opinion. They were that good, those sides. Today, did Chelsea have to do anything? They played their side. They played 5 at the back, Kante in midfield, Werner and Havertz up front. It was quite self-explanatory what they were going to do. We've given them a final.
Rory. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, no, we've given them a final. That's the biggest sin, and this guy knows all about it.
The champion is in the house.
My video is, how does it feel to lose a Champions League
Don't
final?
know.
But how
Don't
does it
know.
feel?
Don't
He does know. He does know. How does it feel?
It's heart-wrenching, and I think it goes one of two ways. I think that, look, today you're going to be broken. You're not going to have any sort of perspective on it. It's only a terrible thing. But I think you can use it as something to invigorate and build upon. Like, you know, the way that Chelsea lost in 08, part of the reason that we were so determined in 2012 is because a lot of that 08 team felt like it was their last chance. And it can be something to use as a springboard. It's whether this City team have the minerals for it. It's whether Guardiola will find that heart that you need. I've seen no reason in the City team or Guardiola to suggest they won't, though.
How does it feel to win it?
Well, I mean, you boys know more than me, but it's about as exhilarating.
But we've lived through the same amount. Two each, yeah.
It's
I
about,
never lived through 68.
it's about as exhilarating as it can possibly be, because do you know what it feels like? It feels so much bigger than tonight. It feels so much bigger than this moment. This is something that we will be discussing in decades to come. This is something that will live forever. This is a statement that will live into eternity.
Tell me Tuchel's a man, eh?
He's done very well. Can't argue with that. He's done very well. Back him now. Back him in the summer. We'll win the league next year.
Subscribe to Rory's channel. Subscribe to Buvey's channel as well. I mean, look at that face. He's got a review going up right now, yeah? Which means you could go watch his review over there. But look, we know how it feels to lose the Champions League final. So we wouldn't want to go and give him any abuse now, would we? Although you might want to. Like I did on the kickoff. Go and check out the kickoff highlights. We are now filming behind the scenes to some poker stuff, so you're not going to get to see it live, but I think some of the highlights will be up. Loz, you've won Champions League finals.
We won a lot of them.
But you've also lost one as well. How did it feel when you lost it? Did you feel like Buvey?
Yeah, it sucked. But you know, the weird thing was, it's similar to City, you feel they are on an upward trajectory, so it's not like all hope is lost. If this was the final play, the final roll of the dice, sure, it's bad. Same as Man United though. You guys have got so many more rolls. So why feel terrible about it? Sort of just you are both very successful teams at this point. Take it as that. Champions League in the first place now feels like a luxury after the Super League. So just enjoy.
Feels lucky to just be here.
Just enjoy being in it. Like that's what I'm taking from it. I get it. Seeing Pep smile post game like that in a weird way, like he was, he's like, oh, I'm touching his head by that.
Do you think he has to kind of keep his
in many
players?
ways he has to. I said this to Jack though. There's method in his madness, and there's madness in his method, and that's part of the problem. But like, it always seems to be, and this is the frustrating bit, it always seems to be that everyone else seems to be able to see it. So everyone in this room pre-match went, in the same way as, when they went out to Leon, all these other people, they went, there's the problem.
We predicted it before the game.
And everyone went, so Chelsea will get one goal and then shut it down, and they'll be able to counter-attack, blah, blah, blah. That's what keeps happening. That's what's bizarre about this. That's what I don't get about it. Consistently, people who have so much less knowledge than Pep Guardiola seem to be able to go, that's your problem, mate. It's bizarre.
It's true. Cheers, Loz.
Cheers, mate. Awkward.
Last word for Rory.
Champione.
We're cutting that out. Not on this channel. Not right now. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Go check out the highlights. Go check out that's a Liverpool fan singing that, by the way. Go check out the highlights over on the kickoff. Go check out Rory's channel, Buvey's channel, Loz's channel, I think.
Check it.
Yeah, he's got like one video on there. It's got more views than any video I've ever done. Probably. What a bastard.
20 times your view.